Sup guys? Oh, no, wait, yep. Sup guys? Knight Rider 7602 here, back with you with another video. Okay, you know what? This is getting kind of weird. Something is definitely up with my camera today, I think. I'm moving at a very slow rate, so... yeah, okay. Well, camera issues aside, I finally get my free moment where I can now fully talk about the one thing we all wanted to talk about before I got caught up in all this stuff. Let's turn this down. The Doctor Who 50th anniversary. This had to be the biggest hype for any show ever. Don't get me wrong, Doctor Who has gotten a lot of hype, but this really extended the hype. It was so big, so massive, everything was perfect. So, let's talk about a little bit of the build-up they did for this. Basically, around the week of, what they decided to do was that they did a marathon of the Doctors Revisited and did the longer variations of the show. I don't know if you guys know, they played the first Doctor, and then they played an episode from the first Doctor, and then they played one from the fourth Doctor, and then they played the eighth Doctor movie, which I had the unpleasantness of watching, thinking that it was actually going to be good, but it was a really terrible movie, so whatever. And they did a marathon of Doctors 9, 10, and 11. Now, in between there was... now, many people didn't realize this, or not many people have heard, but there was rumors circulating Paul McGann was going to return for the 50th, in which he didn't return for the episode. He does return for a special episode, a special mini-sode called, I believe it's called The Night of the Doctor, I think it's called the Night of the Doctor. And this is Paul McGann's supposedly last run before he becomes John Hurt's the War Doctor. So, basically, the whole premise of this was McGann tried to save this crew member of a ship that was about to crash, but because she knows about the Time War and the war between the Time Lords and the Daleks, she refuses his help. She refuses help and winds up dying because of it. And the Doctor very much wounded and about to regenerate. However, he lands on this planet where the Sister of Karn give him this potion, or they have these variation of potions that are choose one and you'll be younger, older, stronger, weaker, and so on and so forth. And McGann's line is make me into a warrior, make me something strong, and he drinks the potion, and that's where John Hurt's Doctor comes in. And it's a perfect little segue into the 50th, because we all know that we were all left with this big mystery in the name of the Doctor. Who is John Hurt? Why is he here? Is he a future variation of the Doctor? Well, the 50th explains this and more. The more is the running joke within David Tennant's run of the Doctor, and that was Queen Elizabeth is always mad with the Doctor. Why? Well, there was something about Tennant's Doctor marrying her, and then doing the whole he'll be back in 5 minutes, in which he never returned. Via the Land Before Time, the end of time, so he regenerated into Matt Smith. Obviously, he doesn't remember this. He doesn't remember too much, and so on and so forth. So, what happened? Basically, the whole plot of the episode is Unit, which is really cool because we haven't heard from Unit in 10th Doctor maybe? So Unit found this, something's wrong, something's up. Paintings have gone completely weird, and something is completely wrong with Queen Elizabeth's time period. So it's up to Matt Smith's Doctor to go and figure out what the hell is going on. But there's just one slight problem. He accidentally runs into Tennant's doctor, and the two begin to hit it off as, oh, you're me and I'm you. That can't be, blah blah blah. Claire really doesn't do well. She does a lot in this episode, but it's kind of sure, whatever. So what happens? Basically, Doctor gets called over to a museum in which there's this painting, and it's like, what is this? And he has no idea. Nobody knows what it is, except the Doctor, which it's some kind of point in time that has been frozen. And he knows this all too well, for this is the Time War. And we get John Hurt's point of view too. Basically, he's fighting the war, he's destroying the Daleks, and he takes this item known as the Moment, and he's about to press this button until Rose shows up. I actually like Rose is back in this episode, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Rose, it's been a while, but why do you look like you have a bad hair day? Is this pre Bad Wolf Rose? Is this pre she meets the Ninth Doctor Rose? What's going on? Virtually, we find out that this isn't our Rose. She really didn't do much. She doesn't interact with the other doctors. Everybody would have liked to see her react with Tennant, because Tennant, did the whole I love you thing. Well, we all know how that went. And so on and so forth. So Rose, who is known as the Bad Wolf, takes John Hurt's Doctor into an alternate universe where if he did do what he does, which was destroy all the Time Lords and Daleks, what will happen? And this is where he meets Tennant and Smith. These three actually has the best chemistry out of the three major characters in this episode. Well, obviously. And I kind of like John Hurt's Doctor a little bit, because it takes you back to the Hartnell's Doctor and older doctors who'll say really harsh things to you, or just be like, what the hell is going on? Basically the running gag with the sonic screwdrivers and pointing them. I just like how he's like, guys, stop it. Stop pointing the screwdriver. It's not a weapon, it's a tool. And basically, the monster of the episode is not only the Daleks, but the Zygon. This is an old school Doctor Who villain who have the ability to change shape. They're shapeshifters, which was amazing. I love it. I love the idea. And there was even a character from the episode that actually dons Baker's trademark scarf, a unit scientist, and she actually escapes using one of Baker's old methods of getting away from his enemies, which was she'll trip them and run. Kind of classic Fourth Doctor there. And Clara, actually with the help of Captain Jack Harkness, I swear to God, I keep pronouncing that last name wrong for some odd reason. Captain Jack's vortex manipulator, which, I guess, at least it shows us that Captain Jack still plays a part in some way, shape, or form. We all know he's the face of Bo, blah, blah, blah. Claire saves the three doctors, and now it's up to them to save Gallifrey. Now, I like it, because as they're in the prison, the doctors are like Hurt's Doctor is like, so you guys are my variations if I would have pressed the button and destroyed everybody. And basically what winds up happening is Tennant and Smith has this giant argument how could you forget what you have done? You have done great damage to your own people and so on and so forth. It's 400 years that long to forget everything. Which is I like that. That was kind of a good argument they have, and how Hurt is realizing maybe I shouldn't do this because maybe I don't want to wind up being them, because each of the doctors brought something from the Time War. Eccleston is I'm the last of my race, and he was kind of hard, coarse and hard. Tennant's more nicer, but he kind of had that mean streak sometimes going on. especially like towards the end of time. And then Smith kind of like forgot and forgave himself for what he did in the Time War. So that was okay. So aside from the Zygons who they had to stop, they decide that they are going to go to Gallifrey, all three of them, in their TARDISes, and go save the day. In which, the funniest thing is, all three of the Doctor's TARDISes are collided into one. So they're like, oh, you all redecorated. I don't like it. Basically, another throwback to a special Doctor episode. To another special, like, Doctor Who episode, I think, where the third meets the second, and they're all like, I don't like your new design of the TARDIS. Nah, sorry. So this time, they managed to go into the painting and battle against the Daleks in the Time War. Which, I like that. It was like, and it's the first time I've ever seen this sonic screwdriver used to actually destroy an opponent. No, seriously. I mean, that thing that thing disables weapons? With the powers combined, it pushed a Dalek into a wall and made it explode. What the hell? There's like screaming going on outside. Okay, well, whatever. But if you have to ask anybody what was your favorite moment from the episode, personally my favorite was David Tennant trying to interrogate a bunny rabbit, because I found that kind of hilarious and yet cute. But everybody's favorite moment is when the doctors, all three doctors, decide we're going to stop and save the day. And they're going in and using their TARDISes. And the leader of Gallifrey's are like, what is this? What's going on? And it's like, not only is there 3 of them, but there's 12 of them. Using stock footage from each doctor's time period, like Hartnell and so on and so forth. That's not thinking outside. Okay, that was a little weird. Anyways, so basically, all the Doctor's TARDISes start flying towards Gallifrey in order to freeze it and save it. And I like the line where one of the guys is like, one of the Time Lords are like, what is it, all 12 of them are going to do it? And the leader's like, no, 13. And we get, for the first time, a quick cameo of Peter Capaldi's, I hope I'm pronouncing that guy's last name right, shot as the Doctor, but we only get to see his eyes. There's nothing too flashy. But I don't even know how they got stock footage of Christopher Eccleston, because we all know how that guy went. Yeah, you leave the guy, you give him 1 season, and he becomes a Dark Elf. And he becomes a Dark Elf. What are you going to do about it? Dark Elf. Dark Elf thing, I'm pretty sure some dude with a hammer got it. I'm pretty sure that guy with the hammer got it, so whatever. And now, the episode ends with leaving you with an open question. Okay, so Gallifrey stands. So what does this mean for the Doctor? We're going to travel to Gallifrey. But there's also one other problem. They have, of course, the big thing with the 11th Doctor was the fields of Trenzalore. That's where he will fall. That's where the Doctor will fall. And that's where, that's like the big mystery. You're like, so what happened? Like, will the Doctor die? Like, how will the Doctor die? Will he be killed by his own companion? Like, what? There's, like, a good element of mystery surrounding Trenzalore and his death. And there's a really, like, some people find it a cutesy moment with Tennant saying, like, I don't want to go. Because, as we all know, that's the most famous line of them all for death scenes from the Doctor. I don't want to go. And I like how Smith's like, he's always saying that. Oh well. And Hurt also leaves, and he begins to regenerate into what people believe is Christopher Eccleston. So, we finally get the full regeneration circle. So basically, he kind of went out the same way that first Doctor did. He got too old, and he winded up dying. And the last lovely bit of shot is Tom Baker as the curator of the museum, which is awesome. I was glad that Tom Baker actually was able to do one day in return. I'm pretty sure each Doctor had his reasons. Paul McGann really liked his run as the Doctor. I'm pretty sure he did. I'm pretty sure Baker especially loved his run. I mean, he's a fan favorite among the older Doctors. My personal favorite is the third Doctor because he knows martial arts, because I'm a big martial arts person. Anyways, that's basically where the episode ends. It's leaving you ready for the Christmas special, which is sadly Matt Smith's last episode, meaning that he probably will travel to the fields of Trenzalore, die, regenerate into Peter's Doctor, in which he'll go to Gallifrey and figure out what's going on. Pretty sure this is the Doctor's third time to Gallifrey. Let's just hope it hasn't been like the last time. Getting captured, being put on trial, evil Time Lord lady shooting the TARDIS, blah blah blah. And that's pretty much it. Final analysis of the episode. I enjoy each of the characters, the Doctors. John Hurt's Doctor really took us back to a more older Doctor style character. How the Doctors sometimes can be coarse and mean, but at the same time heartfelt. The whole thing with the moment being Rose was I felt like it was kind of a tease. Everybody was like, oh my gosh, will they finally, will she and Tennant have, a good scene where maybe Tennant will finally say the magic words that he loves her? We don't get it. Sadly, what we do get to see is a close, they just pretty much sit next to each other, but Tennant doesn't obviously see her. I mean, it's kind of sad, but I think now that we have all the Doctor's regenerations in cycle and order, we now figured out, okay, so let me get this straight. John Hurt's Doctor actually regenerates into Christopher Eccleston, and Eccleston goes in order to find Bad Wolf, which is Rose Tyler. So, basically, Modern Doctor's story came full circle. And final analysis to the episode, 9 out of 10. Could have been a little better. Could have made it more. Wasn't too flashy for me. They need to be more flashy. Really wish Rose's character would have done more. And that's all I have to say for the episode. As a person who's not as big on Doctor Who as a lot of people are, it's worth a watch. For longtime fans, it's a long time coming seeing everything. Of course, where everybody feel like they got copped out of the 8th Doctor movie, and we just got a blunt, oh, here's a new Doctor. We don't show you McGann's regeneration. I kind of personally like the fact that they gave you a mini-sode showing, oh, this is McGann's regeneration scene into John Hurt. And now, as we prepare for the days that it will be Matt Smith's final, I will be in Mississippi when the episode goes down. Hopefully I'll get a chance to watch it, and I probably won't get a review out to you guys soon. Maybe once I come back from this vacation I go on, and we'll see where it goes from there. Also, I should mention this right now, but Peter's run as the Doctor is going to be a straight run. He's going to have a straight season. What I mean by that, it's not going to be divided by 2 parts, like Series 8A and Series 8B. It's going to be a long, continuous season, meaning that there could be more open-ending stuff, adventure to Gallifrey, blah, blah, blah. Who knows what the future may hold. So right now, this is only review 1. I'm running out of time, and I sadly have to do something right now. And hopefully, the next time I do get a free moment, I'm going to do Megaforce, the Megaforce ending. And we'll probably talk about the Robo Knight before Christmas. So, until then, guys, Knight Rider 7602.